If you're able, I'd like you all to stand up now, just for a minute. And now turn around. You could do a little stretch on the way if you like. But turn around and sit back down. Turning around took about 5 seconds. That's how quickly a toddler wanders away from his parent and disappears into the water. That's how quickly a couple of teenagers are swimming out to a buoy and one says, I'm tired, I'm turning back. And the friend turns to look and his friend has disappeared into the water. That's how quickly a boat capsizes, such as the canoe that tossed out a 10-year-old and a 14-year-old this summer in our state. The 10-year-old was wearing a life jacket, the 14-year-old wasn't, and she disappeared into the water. That's how quickly drownings occur. And we've got a big problem with drowning. Drowning is the second leading cause of unintentional injury death among kids and teens, both in Washington state and in the US. And in our state, about 20 kids and teens die from drowning every year. Over a recent 5-year period, more kids died from drowning than died from bike, pedestrian, suffocation, fires, or falls combined. Most drownings happen here in our state in open water, like lakes and rivers, the Puget Sound, or the ocean. In some other parts of the country, you'll see more drownings in swimming pools. We don't have a lot of pools here, so that isn't so much our issue. And as you can see in this picture here from the newspaper, this presents the incredible conundrum of water. It is so fun to be in the summer, and these teenagers are having a fabulous time in it. At the same time, that body of water is a place where teenagers have drowned recently. So 20 years ago, Seattle Children's Hospital decided that we wanted to do something about the drowning problem. And we took a social marketing approach. We were lucky enough to have Nancy Lee working with us at the time. And we have used social marketing strategies to guide us since then. We wanted to change behavior for good, and we wanted to focus on what works. So we looked for a do message versus a don't message. And with that, decided to focus on life jackets and increasing their use as part of the solution. Life jackets, they're called Lifevests, personal flotation devices, or PFDs, are known to reduce the risk of drowning in boats, and actually have been a piece of safety equipment for boaters for a long time. They can also be used for kids who are playing in or near the water, or even for swimmers who are out in open water, especially where there aren't life jackets. That's my son, the redhead over there on the right, and he was my model for the day and still does a pretty good job wearing his life jacket. But we focused in on life jackets for a number of reasons. First, we knew they worked, and it was something we could see it, so we could measure it and observe it and be explicit about were we actually changing that behavior. It was also at the time something that no one else was really focusing in on, life jackets, particularly for kids and teens. The other thing that we liked about the life jacket message is it was something we could use for kids of all ages. So we could target campaigns for teenagers, for school-age kids, for young children and their parents, or even for adults, and stay with that underlying message around increasing life jacket use. The other piece that was core to our initial strategy, and has remained so the whole time we've been working on it, is to work with corporate partners, and we really felt like they were key to our success. So we started by working with both a product partner and a media partner. So our initial product partner was Mustang Survival. They're a life jacket manufacturer, and they ended up coming to the table with money, with donated life jackets. They've gone on to provide support for life jacket observation training, posters around teen drowning, loaner programs for life jackets, free life jackets at April Fool's Day, an annual water safety event. This corporate partnership has extended beyond Seattle Children's Hospital to include the Washington State Drowning Prevention Network, There are all kinds of organizations benefiting from this initial partnership. From a media standpoint, we worked first with Como TV, Channel 4, and their radio station, as well as with Seattle's Child Parenting Magazine. And they brought to the table public service announcements, airtime, and with Seattle's Child, being able to produce and disseminate parent education booklets and booklets for kids. And finally, later on, we started working with Big 5 Sporting Goods, and like Fred talked about in the last presentation on bike helmets, what they did was have a coupon program for discount life jackets. And we found that that's been a great incentive to incorporate in injury prevention programs, whether we're talking bike helmets, booster seats, life jackets. Then we've continued to work with a number of other partners as we've gone along, from nonprofit to insurers to our government colleagues to other corporate partners as well. So who do you pick? We started by doing our homework, and we did a lot of homework to be prepared. Mustang was the first company that we went to, and there were a lot of reasons for that. Mustang's based in the Pacific Northwest, so we thought, maybe they're going to be particularly interested in the safety of kids and families here. They also had a mission and values that were so true to what we were trying to do. For one, they're in the business of getting more life jackets out there. So our goals started out by being exactly the same. But core within their values, and you can see it, you can go on their website and see it, it's around safety, it's around quality, it's around saving lives. That's what we're about too. That's what we're looking at. So we had this foundation that we could go to with them. The other thing about Mustang is they make a kid's life jacket that's really comfortable. And when we did our research with parents, a key to success was make that life jacket comfortable, and a key barrier was we think life jackets are uncomfortable. So this was a company that made a product that we thought was going to meet the needs of families that we had talked to. In the case of Como and Seattle's Child, we already had a relationship with them, and boy, it's great if you can parlay a relationship and turn it into something more. And they were also really interested in kids' health and families. So we had, again, that natural partnership. And then with Big 5, there was that great opportunity to, they love bringing people in, and we wanted to create access to life jackets around the state. Big 5 actually started with just a few stores in Spokane. The Spokane Drowning Prevention Coalition approached them, and then they were interested in taking it statewide. So for each one, a different reason, but always that common goal around increasing life jacket use. And from there, it's about building the relationship, and trust remains just a foundational piece all the way through. Trust is having a steady contact on both ends. Trust is that you're going to follow through. Trust is that you're going to measure your results. That's key to come back to those corporate partners. They want to know if their money or their in-kind donations, if they're really making a difference. And for a lot of corporate partners, visibility is important. That's part of what's in it for them, and that's the reality. So recognizing that and how you can do that is just a really helpful way to build that partnership. So visibility can be putting your logo, corporate partner's logo on something, but visibility could be something a little bit more subtle, such as here you see an April Pools Day event. This was a photo taken by a pool and sent to me. Well, guess what? Those are all Mustang life jackets. Just happened to work out that way. It's a nice way that we can promote that without saying, oh, this is Mustang. You have to do. The other piece around the partners is they want a quality program. And I'm sure you all see more and more in grant applications. Corporate partners want to see that you are developing programs that are based on best practice, that are evidence-based, or if you don't have good measures of evaluation already, that you're going to find out whether it makes a difference. They're really interested and want to make sure that that happens. This is a Life Jacket Loan Program Board. We sponsor a program with Seattle Parks, and that initial donation from Mustang helped fund life jacket loaner programs. In fact, the very first one in the United States was developed here in Seattle and King County. There are now more than 2,000 in the United States and over 150 in Washington State. And that initial donation has sparked or inspired many of those loan programs. But one of the things that we've found along the way is, do you have one partner or multiple partners? We've never gotten enough money from any one partner to make it worth that while for the exclusive kind of relationship. And in fact, have found that the umbrella approach of, can we all get under the same umbrella of increasing life jacket use, saving lives, and bring everybody together, and stayed true, again, to that common goal, that's worked really well. We've had partnerships going with multiple life jacket manufacturers at the same time. But it's about common goal. So the other piece is around making case for equal access. And in the case of drowning, the rates for kids who are African American, kids who are Latino, kids who are Native American, kids who are Asian American here in Washington State are higher. And sometimes the approaches to working with families from diverse backgrounds it's different than the TV media or those more traditional ways of getting information out. We had a Vietnamese drowning prevention campaign, and we were in the Vietnamese language schools and the churches and the Buddhist temples. Sometimes a corporate partner may feel like, thanks, but no thanks. And sometimes that's about visibility. And so when you make your case, you really need to be able to talk about health inequities and about the importance of access, and also think about, are there creative ways you may be able to give that partner visibility somewhere else, even if it's not in these more localized settings. And then it's about thinking long-term. Our initial partnerships for the Stay on Top of It campaign that we developed were 3-year partnerships. And here we are 20 years later, still working on it. And this is a graph that shows how the drownings have changed over time. And the 2 bars that end the lowest on that right side, 1 to 4-year-olds and 10 to 17-year-olds, drowning deaths have decreased significantly in our state over the last 15 years. Life jacket use among 6 to 12-year-olds that we've observed has increased from 66 to 80%. We're measuring life jacket use with the Healthy Youth Survey, where we're asking 8th and 10th and 12th graders about their life jacket use. And even Big 5 and Sporting Goods got into the game this year with helping us to measure our success, where they're now counting the coupons that were redeemed. So we're getting some numbers to take back and say, okay, how well is this working and how can we make it work better? This is all about looking at it for the long term and also measuring your success. So I want to come back to staying true to your goals, because in working with corporate partners, that's really key. And that's what keeps that partnership going. If you can agree on the goal, then you can get yourself through a lot of messy situations and really make that relationship work on the long term. So staying true to increasing life jackets, staying true to saving lives. And finally, I want to take a different tack on the passion factor. We heard a little bit about passion earlier today, but I want to talk about the passion factor for each of you as individuals and what you bring to a corporate partner. And when they know you really care and you're really committed, and this isn't just a job for you, this is something that you really are committed and passionate about, they get excited and energized and they get into it too. It makes a difference for them to know that you care. And for me to go out and be with a little girl like this and see that she's happy wearing her life jacket, she's safer wearing her life jacket, and we're saving lives, that's what it's all about. Thank you.